Well, all right, y'all. All across the USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA. Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to Gangsta Chronicles.
Gangsta Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangsta Chronicles, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Steel.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the James.
One thing I want to say, man, we have to look at the world and the way the world is today. I'm looking at the news, and I see all these people at the Capitol for Donald Trump. If that was black people, this is just my point of view. If that was black people, all hell would have broke loose. You know, where's the dogs? Where's the gas, the tear gas? Where's the military? Where's the police knocking them down? Get the fuck off this lawn. If we don't see what the world is becoming, then we wasting our time as black men, because at the end of the day, we lost already. If you really look at it, we already at a loss. So the way that we are treated and the way that other people are treated, we really have to pay attention. This is why I really want a change, for us to change, for us to see change. Because if we don't do it, they're not going to do it for us. We got to do it.
Well, this is the perfect time for us to get it together while they fighting each other. Never in our lifetime have we seen the white boy fight the white boy like this. Last time they fought each other like this was over us, and they were mad at the motherfucker about us. And they almost wiped out their country, right? That was the Civil War. So now here it is. They are back at this same problem again, but this don't have nothing to do with us. This fight isn't about us. This fight is about all the other foreigners that they have let come into their country who don't speak their language, who don't eat at their restaurants, who don't depend on them. So this had nothing. So this is the perfect time for us to let them kill each other out, let them take over the White House and come getting our stuff together. By the time they look up, we might have got our nation fixed. Now they losing, they losing their nation. Right now we watching them lose their nation. So now we can't say, man, they focus on us. They ain't got time to focus on us now. So now this time for us to pull out their politics and, man, go to fixing on what we can fix. And by the time they look up, man, we done got a little stronger, and we can stick our chest out and say, hey, these are our demands, and we stand on what we demand.
Right. I follow that.
Exactly. It has to be that way, because I honestly feel like this. You know, we have all of these people that sit up in these offices and these places, and they write this programming, right? They write this programming to tell us what they think our children need and what our communities need. The only ones that can heal our community and thoroughly go through there is us. We have to go through there. People like James McDonald, people like yourself, Charles, because Charles, let's go back, Charleston, for the record. You've spent time in the penitentiary system, correct?
No, I mean, I went to juvie, homie. I'm a state baby. I'm a state kid, raised in the state juvie.
My bad. That's what I meant to say. You spent time in the juvenile system.
But he was there from 14 to 21.
Yeah, I grew up there.
14 to 21.
When I left, I was the longest kid locked up in TYC.
What was that for the people that don't know?
For murder. We killed the white man.
In the South?
Yeah, in the South. I'm one of the only niggas I know that's alive right now today and say, man, I done time for killing a white man. Most niggas kill niggas, and they proud of it.
SD, let me ask you this, man, because, you know, it's supposed to be reform, right? You're supposed to go to prison and jail to get reformed and get yourself right and get ready to go acclimate to go out and become a productive member of society. Would you say that your time spent in the juvenile system helped you or hurt you?
It helped me, homie. It was now keep in mind, I caught a murder case in 1991. Prior to that, outside of California, there was no such thing as a kid killing. You niggas started in California, y'all started killing in 71, 72, I think the Baloo murders, right? Outside of that, it wasn't black children wasn't committing murder around the country. So almost 20 years later, after California juveniles started killing, late 80s, 90s, Texas created this juvenile law that's called Texas Juvenile Determined Sentencing Law, where a kid can be sentenced up to 40 years for committing violent crimes such as capital murder, attempted capital murder, aggravated sexual assault. So I went into a juvenile system when we had a governor by the name of Ann Richards. Ann Richards was a recovering alcoholic and recovering drug addict. And so a lot of the money and the policies that she had in the early 90s was geared toward not just rehabilitation, but re-socialization. Now, notice I said rehabilitation and re-socialization, which are two different things in two different terms. Re-socialization is teaching you when you walk up to somebody, instead of taking their toy, you say, "Can I play with that?" Well, most black children don't know you have to ask. They say, "Hey, man, let me see that." And they take it from you. And if you can't whoop them, you can't ever get it back. Most niggas socialize like that. Most people, when you give them something, they wasn't taught to say thank you. So re-socialization take you back to how you're being re-socialized. So I literally grew up in a system, homie, that gave us all the tools and all the skills and all the things necessary for us to come out here and be successful. So this is the product of I'm the product of a juvenile system. My articulation, I was able to go to college and excel. Man, my childhood issues were resolved. We had some of the best psychiatrists, some of the world's best psychologists. We was co-ed, so it was boys and girls. We had an in-ground swimming pool. We had off-campus jobs. We can take college courses. Off campus, we had weekend passes. So I was really, I grew up in more like a boarding school, but we was just, child murderers.
Real, now I'm gonna ask you this question. Now I kind of want. I'm sorry. Now I kind of want. Go ahead, because I think we got a delay. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, no, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, what I was gonna say was I want to go to James now. Then I'm gonna come to you, H, you did time in some jail, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
You did a little bit of time. So I won't really ask you this. This is a question more geared for James. James, would you say that your time in the penitentiary system actually helped you?
The only thing the penitentiary taught me is I didn't want to go back to the motherfucker.
and that's for most niggas from our way. Like
what?
That it teaches us that we don't want to go back to fucking jail. That's what going to jail or going to the pen it teaches you. It teaches you that I don't want to come back to this motherfucker. That's what it's so I gotta do something differently.
Well, I paid attention to the 15, 14 cent working the yard. I paid attention to, you basically a slave in that motherfucker. I paid attention to, being told what to do, when to do it, and I'm a grown ass man. Those I didn't want to live like that. The majority of the people that was on the street that I ran into that were that hardcore wasn't as hardcore in prison. And it was like, what the fuck am I here for? When I get out, I'm not coming back. So getting out of prison, I had to prove a point to not only my mother, my baby mamas, everybody that said I was going back. I had to show them I ain't going back to prison. Ain't nothing in the motherfucker but a knife. You make a knife and you walk around with it all day just to keep a motherfucker off your ass. So I used all of that to say, I'm not coming back to this motherfucker no more. It wasn't worth it. It was a waste of time of my life. And I was better off on the streets than sitting up in that motherfucker eating top ramen and, smoking Camel cigarettes. So some of the shit some of the habits I had in there, I can't get rid of them. I've been out of prison since 1988 and I'm good. So it taught me something, but it taught me what I wanted to know or gave me the reasons why I didn't want to come back. And I did that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that tripped me out about Charleston, man, I used to hear him when he was speaking. And he would tell me some young men, they actually wanted to go to prison because they wanted to solidify their manhood by going to prison.
Shit, I want up. Yeah,
he was one of them.
Do say he was one of them. Listen, I was a young nigga. I inspired. I aspired to get to me a prison yard and walk down there and do all that shit that I heard Uncle Curtis bragging about. I wanted to go make some nigga wash my drawers too. I want to hold a cigarette behind my ear. I want to roll the cigarette pack up in my sleeve because it was propagated to me that way, right? I saw all the penitentiary movies with Too Sweet, the Midnight Thug, man, I saw all that shit. Man, when I was in the 6th and 7th grade in recess, me and my little fellas, we was practicing prison. We was talking about what we gonna do, how we was gonna walk. Man, I aspired to go to prison. I just didn't know they could keep you forever. Cause I seen Uncle Curtis go, he be gone for 3-4 months, come out, Uncle Wayne and go for a little while. So I thought you can come and go kind of as you please as a kid. I didn't know they could keep you for a long time. And make you I didn't know they could do that. Yeah, so as I started getting older, man, and I say this with I can't say I'm ashamed to say it, but it's pitiful that it's a part of me that feel like I missed out on something, homie, because I didn't go to prison. I done everything out here in these streets, homie. I can say I done this, nigga, but say when I get around certain niggas, I can't talk penitentiary talk, and I feel left out sometimes. Sometimes when I be looking hold on, let me finish. Sometimes when I be looking at them motherfucking niggas sending them pictures home from prison from them feds, and I be looking at them niggas, how them niggas stance, the body language, and then just the camaraderie, homie, that picture gives off. Man, you want to be a part of that, homie. That shit look good, man. I want to be a part of that prison shit, my nigga. So I see how it can be so appealing to the young niggas, because at 43 years old, I feel like I missed out, nigga.
So what the hell do we say to the young boys that's thinking like that? Hey, what would we say to them young boys like that, man? They're thinking like that.
You tell them this. You tell them everything that look like it's gold ain't gold. That's food gold and things like that. Because you know what happened? Just like myself, going to the county jail is a start. You better be a gladiator going to the county jail in California. You go in that gang module, you have to do what you have to do. It prepares you for prison. If you don't make it in the county jail, you damn sure ain't gonna make it in prison. And a lot of cats, just like you said, want to go to prison because the homies went to prison. But some of them, and they don't realize going to prison, you ain't gonna be like the big homie. You ain't known like the big homie. Yeah, you ain't known like him. So your prison days is gonna be lived way harder than where he had to live in prison. Your survival mode gonna have to be on a 140 opposed to mine being at a 60. So it ain't what you think it is. It's when you get in there, you'll really see what prison is either gonna build you or break you down. And I've seen a lot of cats get broke.
It's really immaturity is like not being taught. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a lot of dudes didn't grow up with fathers in the homes, you know, so it was a status. A lot of us joined the gangs as young dudes. So our role models was the OGs who was in prison. So basically a lot of cats were, you know, had that feeling of prison authenticated them. You feel me? That solidified my status by going to prison or going to YA back then, you know. So trying to tell, like I say again, in some aspects, it's just like, you know, with the music or with any influence that we have as youngsters, you know what I'm saying? When we don't have those role models present, you get me? You know, I didn't grow up with a father in the home. I talked to my father every day, almost, you know. He lived in Oklahoma, moved to Oklahoma to go to work for General Motors. You know, I grew up in a home with just moms and my sister. It was gang banging everywhere. So I felt like I had to gang bang. You get me? I didn't feel like we had the family backbone structure that, so to speak, I could survive in South Central just being a regular motherfucker. You get me? I had to join a gang. So to change that influence would probably have been somebody to tell me a motherfucker going to prison ain't fun. Like, it might look fun, but it ain't fun. But a lot of us as youths don't or didn't have those dudes to tell us you don't want to go to prison. You get me? Stay in school, try to maintain, get you a job or whatever. We didn't have a lot of that because a lot of us, single mothers, fathers was out on drugs somewhere, just didn't give a damn. So to try to change the influence of telling dudes, hey, I know you see it on TV, or you might hear it in one of my rap songs, or you might see so-and-so glorify the status, but prison ain't the way to go. I sometimes question that too, to see what can change the minds of some of these young dudes who are influenced by just whatever it is negative. You get me? Because they feel, like you said, shit, I feel like I missed out when I look at prison pictures and see niggas in their poses and they all clicked up and the homies all whatever, and then niggas be talking about, oh, I did 5 to 10, or I walked this yard, or I walked that yard, and we did this and we did that, and you don't have no tales of that. So some dudes feel like I got to go through that program to authenticate myself. You feel me?
Yeah, and man, the thing, I'm sitting here listening to you guys talk, man, and I'm sitting here saying, man, out of all the motherfucking prison stories I heard, it wasn't until I got grown when I actually heard something bad about prison. Uncle Curtis really wasn't no street nigga, man. He laid up on A&B and got high. He was the dope fiend nigga. Uncle Wayne was the pimp nigga who got off on dope. So I didn't get to see the real G niggas who would come tell me, Uncle Curtis, and many niggas telling me we had a nigga washing drawers. If I think back, he really was telling me we're fucking the pump. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He was young. So most of the niggas that's hearing about prison, being exposed to prison or even the streets, is really getting it from a weenie nigga. And the weenie niggas make the shit sound like they were G niggas and it's an easy cakewalk. So we think it's an easy cakewalk getting the secondhand information from these niggas, right? So that's what when you hear me say, man, niggas done tricked us. So now the young niggas is being tricked. And the thing about them being tricked compared to us, homie, they don't give second chances no more. Nigga, we got a chance to come home before 30 and 40. These young niggas who shoot them guns now, homie, they damn near guaranteed to be locked up till they 40 when they 18, 19. Because the whole objective of the criminal justice system is to take you and put you away during what they call your prime crime years. It used to be 15 to 25. They figure you be 25, you good. Now, nigga, it's 12 to 40. For the young niggas, they gonna keep them to 50 because they think that they are really super predators. So they ain't letting them niggas come home till they almost 50 from the choices that they making today at 18, 19, and 20. So that's why I believe Gangster Chronicles in this podcast, man, and not just with this podcast, you guys coming down off into the communities, walking that path of redemption and try to undo some of the wrongs so they can get the full story and see these real life action figures who the rappers rapped about, and they can get the whole tale in real life. They're not getting it in the movies. They're not getting it on wax. They're not getting it in the house. They're not getting it in the streets. So it's up to those of us who've made it out, overcame, went through, and are now doing to go back, man, and undo some things. And the only way you can do that is just by telling the truth. So I'm sitting here listening to y'all talk, man. Ain't no nigga tell me nothing bad about prison to even make me not reconsider to go.